Overland Expo 2025 was an absolute blast, and most years I show up with a shopping list, and some years I follow it. This year I'm going to walk you through what I picked up as part of the gear haul, and then I have two bonus items that weren't available at the expo, but true Overlanders know what they are. Stay tuned. The first item on this year's list was a pair of GMRS radios from Rugged Radios. The reason I chose this brand was recommendations around the campfire. One of the great things about Overland Expo is you make new friends and you get to spend time camping with them each night. Far and above, every single person loved their Rugged Radios and swore by how rugged they actually were. So when I needed handheld GMRS radios, this is where I stopped. They had a great special going for a pair of them, and you'll notice I've got an orange one and a black one, or I guess it's a bit of a gray. This one will be my spotter radio, so it'll stay in the truck, and if someone needs to hop out and spot on a trail or range a little bit, they'll use this to communicate back to the vehicle. The orange one will be my emergency radio. This will stay in my go bag. It's orange for visibility, and I actually purchased a pair of upgrades with it. One is I got a secondary battery for extended life, and then I also got the larger antenna. So I'm going to try and experiment with both and see if the upgrades are necessary. Regardless, I now have two batteries for my emergency radio, and my spotter radio is nice and compact and can hop in and out of the truck nice and easily. The second item on this year's list is a hitch link from Factor 55. What's great about this is it plugs right into my tow hitch, and I can now use this as a rated recovery point. The Hitch Link Pro is rated for 18,000 pounds, which is almost twice the max weight of the vehicle. What I like about this is it's a bona fide recovery point as opposed to hooking into either of the sides and the safety notches or trying to use the pin as a recovery. Additionally, something that's very important about the Pro model is it's actually rounded in the middle as opposed to square like the standard model. What this does, it allows me to use soft shackles directly into the hitch link as opposed to having to use a bow shackle or a D-link before I got into my soft recovery gear to complete the rest of the line. This was a worthwhile purchase to have, and is something I'll be carrying in the vehicle for all recoveries. Up next on the list, we have the Light Ranger Mini. It's 800 lumens and extends up to a very high height, and it's also got a built-in tripod at the bottom. What I love about this is I can use it for lighting around camp in a variety of different features. I also opted to purchase the filter kit. So now it can put out a red light, an amber light, or the standard white light it comes with. And it's rechargeable with USB-C, just like my other camp gear. This is going to be a great comfort addition to the campsite. The last items on this list is a package I got from Mojave Off-Road. This is a small group that's based out of Arizona, I believe, and I'm a bag guy. I love bags. So I picked up a couple bags and some rated soft shackles that we'll talk more about. This year's bag was very affordable. This is going to be my alternative to the fancy-dancy trash-a-roos. I bring traditional 13-gallon garbage bags to campsites, but if you don't have a place to hide them in a dumpster, you're stuck putting them inside your vehicle to protect them from animals getting interested at night. This hopefully will give me enough protection so they can't be nibbled on when I'm away from the campsite. And if it doesn't work as a trash bag, it'll end up being a dirty clothes hamper for wet stuff that we're hanging out around the campsite outside of the vehicle. Affordable, lightweight, seems durable, and that was a quick pickup here. The second bag I got from them was this tube bag that to me will fit just about all of my recovery gear in it. I like the form factor because it's a little unique. It's got nice big handles, double zippers on the top. This is something that I saw, and for the price I just had to pick up. Me, bags, it's how it goes. The last thing I got from them was a pair of soft shackles. Important thing, and I'll emphasize this with all recovery gear, is you want it to be rated and certified so that you know what the ratings are. Rating is so important when it comes to recovery gear. So the Mojave soft shackles are rated for 44,000 pounds, which is 4 times the gross weight, max gross weight of this vehicle. Now, one of the other pieces of haul that I don't have anything to show for is the knowledge and the information that you get at Overland Expo. There's a tremendous amount of experts that share their information for free in different classes and setups. So I would absolutely recommend attending some of those sessions to refresh your knowledge, gain new knowledge, or just get some fresh ideas. Coming out of those sessions, I got 2 really good tips from pros about items to carry in your recovery kit that are not traditionally known in the overland community. The first of those items showed up in every single recovery session I went to. It's this crazy thing. They call this an endless loop. And many people swore that this was the most versatile piece of recovery gear they have. Now you can use this as a tree strap, as a winch extension, as a bridle for a vehicle, or a ton of different other applications. It's very durable, very flexible, and it packs down nice and small. What's interesting about this piece of gear is it doesn't have the overland marketing tax on top of it. What this comes from is from the crane or lifting and hoist industries, which have been around for years and years and years and have incredibly tough safety standards. They're often used for hoisting heavy equipment above people's heads. So if it drops, there are major casualties. So when you're buying an endless loop, there's a couple things to be mindful of. One, make sure it has a tag that has a rating on it so that you always remember exactly what it's rated for. Now the rating will change depending on the way you use it in different configurations. You try not to tie it in knots. There's a lot of pros and cons. Do your research and learn how to use these. The other thing I will note about it is the length does matter. So a lot of people will pick up what's traditionally a yellow colored endless sling for that sort of weight rating. I upgraded to the red because it was a nominal price change. But what's really important is the length of the sling. If you get a sling that's too short and you try to use it as a bridle, it'll actually buckle your toe points into each other. You want your bridle to be as deep of a V as possible when you're using it. This is good if your bridle is like this. If it was only this long and this was your bridle, it'll actually, like I said, pull the toe points together and cause more problems than you already have. I recommend that you get at least 10 feet in length. This is a 12-foot red, and it's made by the brand Liftex, but there's also Liftall. There are several different companies out there, and like I said, it doesn't have the overland markup tax, so it's a tremendous piece of kit for your recovery in any sort of situation. I would recommend getting one of these, but it wasn't available at the expo. I had to go get it from an actual lift and crane provider. The second and final item on the bonus list are sandbags. Most people carry max tracks on their vehicles, and the premium amount of max tracks to carry is 8. One for underneath each tire and one for each tire to drive up onto. Carrying 8 max tracks is a very challenging thing to do because you just don't have room on a vehicle. They're big and they're bulky. I carry 2, as do many people. This right here is 25 sandbags. You can fill this up wherever you are on the trail with whatever material you have around, even rocks, but preferably dirt or sand. And you can put these either under or in front of your wheels to drive on. And it's super lightweight. I have 25 bags here for only a couple pounds, and I think this thing cost me $15. So you use them, you cut them up, you take them with you off the trail after you dump them out, and you keep going. So these are use and keep track of and much lighter than carrying 6 extra max tracks with you. There you have it. These are the results of this year's gear haul at the 2025 Overland Expo West. It's a phenomenal event, and we see friends each year, and we always get new stories around the campfire, and we love seeing everybody. Hopefully that'll fit into your schedule at some point, or really any of the Overland Expo events. Overland Expo is the biggest, but there's some smaller local ones if you want to go ahead and get started nearby. I recommend it. Thank you very much for staying with us for the gear haul, and follow us next time on Campfire Command.